You are listening to Conversations, an interview series hosted by Pastor Daniel Williams, discussing practical ways we can be pursuing and proclaiming Jesus in daily life. Brought to you by Redemption Church, Delray Beach.
Hey everyone, this is Pastor Daniel Williams, and I am here with my friend, Pastor Pilgrim Benham. Many of you guys know him and his family. He's come over to Redemption Church to teach, to lead worship. We supported him his first year at Shoreline, and now they're about to celebrate 2 years, and he's over at our house, and I thought it would be cool just to interview him for this month's training, and we want to talk about friendship. And so, you are a pastor, but really, now that we're just doing ministry together, we love each other and stuff, we have a friendship. How has that cultivated us? How did we get connected in a relationship?
Yeah. Hello, Redemption. Love you guys. And I think it's awesome. I just want to say thank you guys for your support ongoing, more than just the initial financial support. You guys are just an awesome example to the world of what it looks like to be a community that loves Jesus, and so we appreciate your partnership in the gospel. But yeah, I think you and I got connected. We were at a church planters training, and I love telling the story. You just I was up talking to somebody, I turn around, and you're just like beaming this huge,
That's what I do.
simple smile, and you're like, I know you. I've been watching you online. It was great. It was funny. But no, I think we realized we were both kind of planting churches at the same time initially, so I think just immediately we had this kind of kindred spirit that, hey, we're doing things a little bit different, but it's really cool to know that we have a heart for people, we have a heart for Florida, heart for church planting, and God's called us, and so it's kind of exciting when you meet someone that you're really like-minded with. I mean, we're unique, but it's awesome to have a friendship like that. So we were just talking about that today, 2013, so it's been like 4 years that we've been friends.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels good now, but honestly, guys, when you have a friendship when you start it, it's really awkward. And so that's why I love sharing that story, because I just smile and like, hi, how's it going? But friendships are important. And in your experience, how has our friendship, or even other friendships, helped you just in your own life? Like, what does the Bible talk about friendships and the importance of having friends in your life?
Sure. No, the Proverbs speaks about having a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Mm-hmm. And I think, we all have that connectivity to our families, but then there's that next level of intimacy and companionship. And I think we have that. We really should have that if you're married. There should be a sense of like, I'm married to my best friend. We're very close. We can talk about things. I can let my guard down, so to speak. It seems like with family, the guard's already down, and sometimes the gloves are on or off. Yeah. But with friendships, I think that's interesting that Solomon says there is a friend that can stick closer than a brother. And I think the importance of friendship is really the fact that God has created us to be a relational people. It's tied to his nature in the Trinity, the fact that there's God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit, mm-hmm. that he exists in his personality, if you would, as three distinct characters or personalities in one, which you try to define that, and it's heresy no matter how you dice it. But when we really think about it, we've been created in God's image. So that means we should be a relational people. And I don't know about you guys, I don't know about many of us. It's a difficult culture that we have to cultivate friendship. It's difficult. It's got to be something that's very intentional. And so I think by default we say, oh, I've got 500 Facebook friends, I've got lots of friends.
Yeah.
But we actually don't have meaningful, intimate relationships. We have a lot of companions, but the Proverbs speak about a friend that's closer than even your family. Someone who that you can trust them, that they'll share the truth and love, and there's that connectivity that no matter what's going on, I know that this friend, sees beyond the exterior and really, is on the same page with me. I think that's important. We all need that.
How have you personally have had friendships just help you pursue Jesus? Maybe an example or two, maybe of accountability, or just you've been inspired by friends, but how has friendships that have been centered on Jesus helped you actually know Jesus in greater ways?
Well, it's part of our discipleship. So for me, and for all of us, we were created to be in community. So the whole idea of community, communion, it's all kind of related. He's put us into relationship. So like there's this church back in Bradenton that is actually a drive-in church. So you can drive up with your car. I don't know if you remember drive-ins back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's movie theater mentality. You pull up, you turn the station, and you watch the church service from your car. So the whole idea is like I'm a participant kind of, and I'm just partaking. I'm not actually involved in anybody's life. But that's not the way the body of Christ was created. We're not necessarily supposed to interact just online, so to speak. But we're here to really connect with one another. And so that means we have to be in relationships. So for me, man, having people that have been alongside me to encourage me, people who have been alongside me to challenge me to, not in a critical way, but, to speak the truth in love. People that have been in my place where they can say, like 2 Corinthians 1, let me comfort you with the same comfort I've received. Mm-hmm. If I don't have a relationship with anyone, nobody knows that I need comforting. If I'm not willing to say, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Good. Versus, how are you really doing? And I say, man, I'm struggling. I'm discouraged. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not saying every church service when you show up you need to be like, hey, someone find me and, I'm just doing terrible. But if we're willing to have a little bit of vulnerability, those friendships become valuable and they become super important. And then we're not looking for people to fulfill us. We're actually showing up saying, who can I encourage today? So church, actually, the gathering becomes exciting at a deeper level of friendship where I'm looking not to be fulfilled by someone, but I'm trying to find someone to encourage today. So I've got a word of encouragement. Lord, I'm showing up to bring that to somebody, but we have that relationship. So for me, man, like I've got to have peers that have been kind of with me in that same place, people I look up to, people, that hold me accountable, challenge me. Obviously, spouse, my wife, it's super important to have those friendships.
Yeah.
Help me grow.
And it's a pretty natural thing when Jesus is the Lord and the center of your friendship. You pursue Him together because you hold one another accountable, but then you also, because you have this attitude of loving one another, wanting to bless people, you want to speak words of life, Jesus' words, just encouraging and pouring out to people. So it's a natural flow of, you get something from people when they're blessing you, and then you pour into them, and you're just pursuing God together, so you're growing closer, you have accountability, but then you're proclaiming Jesus to one another and reminding one another of the truth and those type of things. Let's get really super practical to end this, not just theoretically and like the theory of it all and the lofty idea, but it's really hard to make friends when you're an adult. And sometimes it's awkward, even how we met. How do you cultivate relationships in your life? How do you go from a stranger or an acquaintance to going deeper and just saying, like, what are practical ways to gain friends?
Sure.
You've seen pastoral ministry and just in your own life and experience.
Well, some of us are rigged differently, so that question could completely intimidate some people. I don't want to go out of my comfort zone and try to meet anybody. Other people, that gets them excited. Like, what are some practical ways I'm ready to do this? Mm-hmm. I think you start where you're at. You start with the circle of people that God's put in your life. And you start evaluating, okay, who are the people that are right now in my life? Is it my neighbors? Is it my coworkers? Is it my community group, the people I attend, church with? Who are the people right around me? And what I would do is just say, all right, let me begin to pray. Who are the people that share the same affections with me? I don't want to sit down with people that we completely disagree on every point, and they're annoying to me. But who are the people that I connect with? Who are the people that seem to be interesting? And then really the next step would be taking the initiative and being that person, instead of expecting the people to take that initiative, be that person who shows an interest.
Yeah.
So, hey man, would you like to, I'm going to set this up. Why don't we get together? Not, we should get together this year. But hey, it's the beginning of the year. Can I take you out to lunch? We never hung out. We should hang out. I know of a guy at a church that almost every single person at that church looks back and says, I remember the first person I met at this one church. And it was the same guy. Every single person, like 40, 50 people all remember him. He's not really that crazy personality of a guy. He's just a guy who, when he sees someone new, he says, hey, they're new. Let me take it upon myself to initiate and welcome them and ask them out to lunch, or just say, hey, I'd like to be, friends. So I think taking the initiative is kind of the big step, and don't have an unrealistic expectation. You know what I mean? Like, don't expect that person to do your eulogy at your funeral or, be your best man. Some friendships are going to be at different levels. And I would not say, try to be friends with everyone and just be a likable person and allow the fear of man to rule your life. I'd say find someone you connect with, pour into them, invest in them, make sure that you're yoked together equally. It's someone who's following Christ. And it's one person said this about relationships, but it works with friendships. They're like, meet someone that as you're running as fast as you can towards Christ, if anyone's able to keep up, then make that person your spouse. I would say in the same way as friends, if someone is willing to allow you or to push you closer to Christ, that person should be, someone you pursue.
Yeah. All right, guys, you heard it. You should have a handful of friends. No, that's really good. Let me just recap that. This is very practical, very easy for us to understand. Look for people around us, family, co-workers, neighbors, people that we have. Take some initiative. Ask them, hey, will you be my friend? Do you want to go to a movie together? It's almost like dating. It's pretty weird. But then you actually have to initiate and say, hey, let me invest. Let's spend some time together. Found that a lot of people don't want to spend time with people. It's so easy to give a little quick text or to go on Facebook and like something, thinking that we know everyone's like, but the reality is it just takes time to build a relationship. And then you just cultivate that relationship, you foster that relationship, and, basically being equally yoked. There will be some people that you won't connect with just because they're not going in the same lifestyle or pursuing God as great as you are, or vice versa or whatever. But when you're yoked to someone, you'll get that sense of, I could be myself. I could be, myself and pour into them, and they can pour into me, and this is enjoyable. And when we do this, we can actually make friends.
I would challenge you to try this for a week. Like, for the next week, show an interest and stop talking about yourself, but begin asking questions. Actually show an absolute interest in that person.
Yeah.
Or in people around you. And watch what happens over the course of a week of stop talking about yourself and just ask questions. So how was your weekend? So what's new in life? And just continue, not like you're interrogating them, but you're just asking questions. You're showing an interest. You're like, wow, that's cool. And just watch what happens. In just 1 week, you'll be kind of blown away at how quickly people respond positively. And they'll be coming up to you initiating, saying, hey, let me tell you about my week. Because you kind of set that example of being someone who's not necessarily interesting, but you're interested in the people around you. And that's what good friends do.
Yeah, and so if you want to make friends, you got to be friendly. You got to invest, do those things, ask questions. And I'm just so blessed that we are friends, that we've moved beyond amazing, good-looking church planners.
Hey,
that's
you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. But again, man, we love you. We're praying for you, and thank you so much for investing in us. I hope this was a helpful conversation for you. I'm praying for you all that you would have good, godly, great, healthy relationships, and that you would use those relationships to really hold one another accountable, pursue Jesus together, and also proclaim Jesus to one another, invest in one another, and point one another to the Lord. So God bless you. Love you. We will talk to you soon. And thanks again, Pilgrim, for hanging out.
Thanks for your friendship.
Hey, you too. All right. That was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.